I'm only going to be a few minutes, but I want to say first of all how very honoured I am, really, to be standing here, and thank you very much for the invite to be able to do this. I'm not sure that was quite my brief, what you suggested I was going to talk about, but anyway, I think I've been invited here to talk because I run a programme at Nottingham Trent University called an MA in Public Health, which Dani is one of my current students, and we do quite a lot of work with lots of different kinds of communities, and I'm really honoured to be here standing in solidarity really with the Rwandan community today, and thinking about some of the issues. What's public health got to do with any of this? You might well be thinking. We get a lot of international students, and we get a lot of students from various African countries, and they bring with them their life experience and their professional experiences, etc. And our programme is really around skilling people up to go and work in global health and development, and very often people are skilling up to go and work abroad and often go back to various countries in Africa. You might think that public health, well, what's public health? Public health is about telling people what to do, what not to do, what they should eat, what they shouldn't eat, how much you should not smoke or whatever. But actually public health is a lot more than that. Public health is about a lot of broader things. It's about things like social justice. Okay, that's kind of a key theme, really, of our programmes in public health. And that is the case. Increasingly, public health has shifted towards thinking just about physical health, but also thinking about broader issues around social justice, human rights, advocacy, mediation, all those kind of things. And so increasingly we've also recognised that genocide is a public health issue. It has huge consequences, obvious consequences in terms of population health, and it also has long-term consequences in terms of things like mental health. And Irina, you talked very eloquently earlier about sort of intergenerational impact that genocide can have, and the sort of interfamilial kind of impact that it can have. So it's about working or educating people to go and work with those kind of principles, if you like, helping people to work with principles of social justice and human rights and sort of move forward, really. We do some work, we take our students with the other university in Nottingham. We visit the Genocide Centre every year, up at the Holocaust Centre, up in North Nottinghamshire. And we spend a day there kind of looking at genocide and looking at what the role of public health is in genocide, and really sort of thinking through the consequences. And increasingly with a colleague of mine at Nottingham, Dr. Heather Roberts, we have been looking at the idea of public health being a tool possibly for thinking about how do we prevent genocide, okay? Because how do we think about things that are going on at the moment, things that might happen in the future? It's really important to document and remember, and that's what we're doing today. But we also need to think about how do we also prevent genocide in the future. And part of that is by remembering and documenting and educating as well, and raising awareness, all those things. But there are also perhaps some functions that public health has around surveillance models and and being able to document outbreaks of violence, for etc., and thinking of violence as a public health issue, that maybe we can start to think about more preventative modes of working. How far we're getting with that, it will take a long time, and it takes a big shift in consciousness, really. And so that's a long game, and that's work that's very much kind of developing. But certainly, public health is increasingly recognised as a public health issue and is core to the curriculum. It also ties into humanitarian assistance, and many of our students go and work in the humanitarian field. And we all know the story of the UN and its role in what happened in Rwanda. And of course there's lots of debates, isn't there, about the international community and their role. And we only have to look at what's going on currently in places like South Sudan at the moment, and let's not forget what's happening in South Sudan, Central African Republic, where there are real problems and issues going on at the moment, and how do we as an international community respond to that. And so these are all important things that we talk to our students about, we work with them about, and hopefully they are the people of the future who are out working in the global health and development field. And it's not just about educating people, but it's also, to me, teaching people who are working in the global health and development field to be activists, to activate, and also to be mediators as well. So I think all I want to say really beyond that is that I'm here to stand in solidarity with your community in recognition of what happened, but also so thrilled to hear from the young man who just spoke about the youth and future of Rwanda. Rwanda is rebuilding in an amazing way, and certainly its health services rebuilding, etc. So thank you very much, and kwibuka.